Denton Community Television, operated by the Mayborn School of Journalism, the University of North Texas.
Hi, I'm Mike Miller. Hope you're having a great day. Thanks so much for watching. My guest today is a well-known Texas entertainer, and he celebrates the common working man and describes himself as a guitar-picking carpenter. And Brian, I appreciate you being here very
Mike,
much.
I'm honored.
Thank you so much for coming down. And
Hope we don't break the camera here.
has this been a pretty good year for you?
It has. We've had, well, it has. We're busy. We've got, like I say, I played last night.
At the North Texas?
At North Texas State Fair. We go to Waco on Friday to play for a wedding party of a former student at UNT. And Saturday, I'm back in Fort Worth at a big barbecue place. We do a big crowds out there once a month. And my wife keeps me about as busy as I can stand. You know? That with a day job, you just can't go too crazy.
You worked at Six Flags for a while?
I've worked at Six Flags for almost 25 years now.
And you climb up on the roller coasters and stuff like that?
Yes. We do all the carpentry, repair, maintenance work on the big wooden coasters is our main job. But just being in the carpenter shop, you know, there's a wealth of other things to do there too.
I guess there's so much stress on that with all that weight going like that.
Yeah, they say it. Not to get off the subject of music, but they say that the train loaded with people is roughly 10 tons. So when you got something like that slinging around, up to 60 miles an hour up there, it can create some problems.
Yeah. So when you were younger, some Kris Kristofferson footage inspired you?
Well, you know what, I have a brother that's 9 years older than me, and of course, growing up, he was the one always bringing albums home, Beatles, you know, and stuff, and he brought some Kris Kristofferson albums and dropped them off of the house, and I gravitated towards them, and then he took me to see Kris and Rita Coolidge.
Really?
Back in the day, you know, and made a big impression. That kind of music, I didn't really know what you would call it. I was playing banjo in a bluegrass band that just started.
Really?
Yeah, and I didn't play guitar at all, but I was kind of fascinated with Kristofferson's songwriting. You know, he's such an unusual writer. And about that time, I saw the pilot show for Austin City Limits. I don't know if you've ever seen the pilot of they call it a real vintage early 70s Willie Nelson concert.
Really? No, I've never seen that.
Oh, it's fabulous. And I couldn't believe. I said, this is country music? These guys are hippies, you know? But they're playing this. But I thought, country music was always seemed kind of, to me.
Yeah.
But Willie playing it kind of liberated it or something, you know. And so I was raised in St. Louis, so it was just a matter of time. I was a teenager. I'd moved to San Antonio, and I had a cousin down there, and we started our first band and started playing, you know, slowly migrated, worked our way up here to this part of Texas, and I've been here since 77.
Really?
Yeah.
He was the keynote speaker at South by Southwest, I think, a couple of years ago.
Willie was?
No, Kris Kristofferson.
Oh, Kris Kristofferson. Yeah, he still amazes me.
You said he's a unique, kind of has a certain.
He has there's a lot of the way he puts words together are very creative. You know, like Bob Dylan is another great writer, but half the stuff I can't figure out what he's talking about, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
But Chris is real to the point, you know, and he'll arrange words that flow out of a simplicity, and the idea and the simplicity of it all, I guess, like a Hank Williams would, you know,
Yeah,
just a simply boiling it down to its core
Yeah.
and getting it out there. And I still really like Christofferson a whole lot.
He must really be a smart man. I'd heard he was a Rhodes Scholar. I think.
I'd heard that too. Yeah,
You have to really have high grades and scores to.
yeah. We went and saw him in at Bass Performance Hall. How many years ago, hon? A few.
3 or 4.
Yeah. But he just walked out with guitar. He's not a real strong guitar player, and he's not a real strong singer, but there's something with him delivering his own songs that is
Yeah.
unique.
Yeah.
And the whole auditorium sang every word, every song with him, you know, and I was impressed that a guy like that.
And
come out.
me and Bobby McGee.
Oh, yeah, that kind of defines a generation, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And he had a lot of, you know, he wrote a lot of other songs that other people had huge hits. The gal that was on stage with me last night sang the old Sammy Smith, "Help Me Make It Through the Night,"
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and that's a Christofferson tune, you know.
Is that right? I didn't realize. I
Yeah,
forgot.
and Ronnie Millsap, Ray Price, they all had big hits with Christofferson. you
Really?
know. Yeah, so he was a force to be reckoned with in his
yeah.
prime.
Yeah.
And then, of course, I guess they all can't ride that wave forever, but
Yeah.
some longer than others.
He'll be remembered, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. I still think his views have turned, you know, political and everything, but he can still write a great song about. Most everything he writes is like he's writing a heartfelt. You know,
He could really feel the emotions. or
yeah,
something.
it's something he believes in, and that's
Yeah.
I like that about him. Where you have some songwriters that say, "I'm gonna sit down and write a song about murdering my sister" or something, you know, something
Yeah.
they've never done or
Yeah.
something, and that always strikes me as silly, you know. But
Do you think a lot of writers write autobiographically, but some don't?
yeah, I do. I
Yeah.
think like in the Nashville music machine up there, they have songwriters just trying to churn out
Yeah. Catchy.
catchy stuff, you
Rhyming
know.
stuff.
Yeah, rhyming stuff, pop kind of oriented stuff. But then you get them writers like Townes Van Zandt, you know, and Christofferson that really can write maybe. Townes, I don't think ever had any great big hits. Anyone made hits of, but boy, his songs are so emotional to listen to.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know. Anyway, that was just my take on it.
Well, you have 4 albums out at this time.
I do. We had three that I wrote most of the compositions on, and then we did one just a live a beer man thing, just to was that our 20th year reunion we did.
That's 21 songs on that album.
Is there?
Yeah.
Oh well, we go through them pretty quick. You know, I leave
noticed-
a lot of stuff out that.
I noticed your other albums had 12 songs each too. That's
Yeah,
good.
we were lucky. Lloyd Maines produced a couple of our CDs. The first album I recorded, all centered around that song I was telling you about my dog, and that song had become so popular here in Denton, just at my gigs, that I finally said, "Well, I got to just record it." People
Yeah.
said we need a recording of
Oh
it.
yeah.
I found a local fella here, a real good musician. Used to live here, Mitch Marine, and he's currently, I think, for the past several years, been playing drums for Dwight Yoakam.
Oh really?
But he produced this. He agreed to produce it. I didn't know anything about producing anything or recording, and I got together with him, and he said, "You know, we can do this." He goes, "But what we really should do is you should write a whole bank of songs, and let's just make a whole CD." So that pushed me into writing more, you know.
That's good.
Yeah, it was good. Just opened up the floodgates, I guess.
Now, on your first album, Never Look Back, you performed one of those songs with Willie Nelson and Jerry Jeff Walker and Robert Earl Keen at different times.
Oh, no, I never have performed with them. I've opened for him.
Oh, opened. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Same show.
Yeah, I opened for Willie one time in
great.
Hillsborough. Jerry Jeff, I opened for him here in town. Robert Earl Keen, I think I've maybe once or twice in Dallas. I did back when I was pushing a band, you know.
Never Look Back.
Yeah,
album
to push that first CD.
Yeah.
You know, I did all that. Did a lot of shows with Pat Green.
Really?
He was just up and coming. He kind of blew right by me. You know, he's big time now. But yeah, but met he met a lot of interesting people in the songwriting circuit. Ray Wiley Hubbard, Gary P. Nunn from back in the old, you know, Texas country 1970s days. What they called the outlaw country or whatever that stuff. Billy Joe Schaefer, I did a couple gigs with him. He's
such a good songwriter.
Oh yeah, no, and a real character. You know, I mean, like the real deal. But here in town, one of the most interesting people that I did gigs with was Pops Carter.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Pops used to show up at my gigs. If I had a strong crowd, he could almost guarantee that Pops would show up sometime during the night, and then we would do a few songs together.
That's good.
Yeah, we'll miss him. He was a one of a kind.
He was, yeah.
Yeah.
Pub crawls, what are those exactly?
I can't remember how many years ago. It was when I released my third CD. We have a good friend who is a Denton firefighter. Michael Joseph Valentine, we call him Billy Ray Valentine, his friends did, and he was killed in a car wreck, tragically. So we decided to do a benefit to raise money. He had some little boys, you know, and a wife left behind. And that, for a couple of years, how many years we do the benefit? 2 years we did that. Then my wife came up with this great idea that we should turn it into a pub crawl and have entertainments at each venue. I would kick it off, and then we'd have auction. We'd try and raise even more money. And how many pub crawls did we do, honey? 5? They got to be pretty popular. They almost got to be too popular, so we scaled it back.
And they were at different locations like Andy's and Dan's?
We'd start at Dan's, and then we would walk around Square, but my wife put it all together. She did all the work for it. The great thing about it is the Denton bagpipes and drums, well, not just from Denton, they came from all over the Metroplex, the firefighters, and they would kick the show off as a tribute to Billy Ray, playing Amazing Grace on the bagpipes and the drums. And then I would play for, I don't know, an hour maybe. And then they were in their kilts and their full garb. Some had cowboy hats on too. It was kind of interesting. But then they would do the Pied Piper thing and lead us through the streets playing from one club to the next. And it was really great because traffic would stop. They'd have to. We'd have somewhere upwards of 300 people coming out, and
just walking down the street.
People would be taking pictures and everything. And we'd file everybody in, you know, and then we'd listen for a little to another entertainer. Then we'd do the same thing. Generally, by the time we got back where we started from, it was getting pretty loose. But it was a good time though.
Sounds like it.
They were very successful. But like I said, we scaled them back. We started worrying a little bit. Liability issues and things could be a problem.
Something might happen, yeah.
Firefighters are begging us to keep doing it. They said, we'll do it. We'll take the liability issue. So we'll see if they take the ball and run with it.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that story, and I appreciate you being here today, and I'm going to get out of the way and let you play some music for our people out there.
You don't want to ruin your show for crying out loud.
I really appreciate you coming down, and y'all stay tuned to check out Beer Man.
Let's start off, and I'll do a little tune I wrote for my wife, Joy. It goes like this.
house before the break of dawn, hammer in my hand nearly all day long. Shoulder the load through the hot and cold, and labor hard the whole day through, standing strong for you. My father showed me how a man should be, solid and silent as a live oak tree. Weather the storm, gentle but strong, shelter those that are close and true, standing strong for you. I'll be there through the thick and the thin, from this time on right up to the end. Just take my hand and understand there's nothing more that you gotta do, standing strong for you. Well, I could have no one to hold in my hands. One good woman makes up for her man. I'll never see why you believe in me, but I promise, girl, always to be true, standing strong for you. I'll be there through the thick and the thin, from this time on right up to the end. I just take my hand and understand there's nothing more that you gotta do, standing strong for you. Out of the house before the break of dawn, hammer in my hand nearly all day long. Shoulder the load through the hot and cold, and labor hard the whole day through, standing strong for you, standing strong for you, standing strong. Well, there's one down. I'm going to play a little tune next. I started writing this song years and years ago. I was visiting Santa Fe, New Mexico. Used to be up on the Puya cliff dwellings. You could actually get on the Indian land and go hiking along these Anasazi ruins. And the first time I went there, I was caught in a little summer shower and forced to duck inside one of these ancient Anasazi dwellings, and it was kind of a spiritual kind of a experience with the summer rain coming down lightly and touching off the sage, and you could look out the stone door of this little dwelling, and the Sangre de Cristo Mountains were framed by it, and it gave me the idea for this song, and it eventually came out. It's called Santa Fe Trail. It goes like this. I lost my heart a long time ago, such a long time ago. All that's left is a wandering soul. I'm just a wandering soul. I've seen rain like tears from the sky, just like tears from the sky. It's a beautiful thing to see the earth cry, such a beautiful thing. My spirit is borne by the wind, blown like snow through the air. I'll pass this way time and time again. I know soon, soon I will be there. I'm on my way to Santa Fe, on the Santa Fe Trail. A medicine man has shown me the way, and I know that my feet will not fail. If you hear the moon call at night and smell the sage in the air, if you feel a breeze at your side, you'll know that I am there. Side by side, we'll settle and ride on steeds that never touch the ground. Over the deserts and canyons we'll glide till we see the lights of town. I'm a living ghost of the Sangre de Cristo, real and as cold as a rock, like a red man who's lived here for 1,000 years. He knows I can't stop him. I'm on my way to Santa Fe, on the Santa Fe Trail. My body shall rise from the cold red clay. I'll spread my wings and I'll sail. Okay, little bluegrass tune, Santa Fe Trail. I wrote back in the day. Yeah. I'll move right along. When I came to Denton back in the early 90s, I was going through a divorce. Denton was kind of took me in. Really, really like this town. That's why I've lived here ever since. I started playing guitar in local bars. There was just a couple out there then that you could do that in. But I was surprised to find an audience waiting, and I wrote this song about the folks that would come out and see me every week. It goes like this. I carry my demons here on my back. I've been running like crazy, sometimes running off track. They say life can drive you a little insane. It's also been said that can keep you ahead of the game. My future's been changing like the wind shifts the sands. All I held on to, it slipped through my hands. I finally quit fighting the tide. I let myself go and I roll with the flow and enjoy the ride. 'Cause I tried living true, tried living my lies too, tried everything here in between. But I never knew I'd find someone like you looking for me. Dream on, you dreamers, and dream all you can. Those who condemn you, that don't understand. You gotta have something, you've lost everything else. When your back's to the wall, you gotta try and stand tall and believe in yourself. 'Cause I tried living true, tried living my lies too, tried everything here in between, yeah. I never knew I'd find someone like you looking for me. Well, I never knew I'd be looking for you, be looking for me. Whoa. Had a little trouble getting out of that one. What's that? One more. Okay. One more. We'll do it. This song doesn't have a name yet. It's one of the last songs I've written. I wrote it for my good friends, Gary and Anna. Anna used to be a waitress at the Sunset Grill. Okay. And this is about the courtship of Gary and Anna. It's kind of self-explanatory. It goes like this. Anna was tending bar to hear her drunkard walk through the door. When Gary walked in, she must have thought, here comes one more. But fate and his old friend Destiny had a different plan that day. And down the road to romance, they carried her away. It's a true story. And that was Anna's verse. Here's Gary's verse. Well, sometimes Gary gets thirsty, even before the sun goes down. So he headed for a local water hole, his favorite in town. But when he walked through the door and up the stairs, little did he know, perched up high on a neon sign was hiding Cupid with a little bow. Yeah. She was hoping for the big tip. She got more than she bargained for. She got a self-made man with a 3-bedroom house and shag carpet on the floor. He was looking for a cheap drink. Oh Lord, it changed his life. He came in for the $1 long neck, and he wound up with a wife. Kind of scary, huh? Yeah. Fast forward several years later, it's a sunny day in spring, where the roses bloom, stood the bride and groom with bands made from a high school ring. All of their friends and their family had gathered there that day to watch them tie the knot right there on the spot, and for Gary to carry Anna away. He was standing at the altar with his bride-to-be at his side, when the thought of that beer that led him there brought a tear to his eye. She would listen to the preacher and waiting to say I do to the man of her dreams, and so it seems to the shag carpet too. Yeah. Thank you, Mike, for having me. Thanks for listening, folks.
And they tell me, follow your dreams. And they say, do what you want, and money will come.